Listen to me now. Gonna say it loud. Don't get it twisted what we're talking about.
Recently started, I'm doing something, my hands everywhere, but it's called 21 Questions with PrincessAdah. So we're going to get right into it. And the first question I want to ask you is, what's your name? What do you prefer to be called? Let's start there.
Okay, well, I actually have 3 different names. So my government name, I'm going to put it on blast, and I'm not scaring anybody. My government name is Courtney Angel Bailey Tetevi. My Yoruba name, which is part of my ancestry, is Onike Olafemi Olurosho. And of course, my Hebrew name is, you know me as YAHDOA. Now, YAHDOA is an interesting name that came about because I didn't come with the name. Actually, my current husband came with my name because YAHDOA derived from my tribal name from his tribe, which is the Ewe people from Togo and Ghana, Benin Republic, and Nigeria. And they're Hebraic. And they actually have their alphabet is very much ancient Hebrew. So you get named according to the day of the week you were born. So I was born on Thursday, so my name was YAHWA. So people had a problem trying to figure out how to say YAHWA. I said, okay. So he kind of mixed it up. He said, okay, so your name already has the name Yah in it, and we're Hebraic. So, and make it sound more female, he said Doa. And I became YAHDOA.
I like that. That's
people say it's Yadora. I said, no, it's YAHDOA. Doa. Like Jane Doe, Doa.
I'm probably saying it Yadoa.
Dora. People say Dora. I just accept it. Before then, when I was younger, my father named me. He named me Yael, and that's the name I got when I became 13 years old. He started giving me my name, and that's when my family became Israelites. We were genetically already Israelites, but just we embraced the culture. So at the age of 12, we left the Kingdom Hall. We were Jehovah's Witnesses, and we embraced our culture. My father's mother, Ola, she was Hebraic. She was an Israelite. And most of my family on my dad's side are Israelites. So it kind of makes sense to come back home to what you are. But I always knew that something was different about me, even when I went to Kingdom Hall. No offense to my Jehovah's Witnesses friends and family. I just did not fit in. I always asked 1,000 questions. And there was an elder sister that I knew named Sister Heard. And she would always say, this may not be your path, but learn the knowledge and be able and become sharp. And I still keep up with that lovely elder sister to this day. She's a wonderful herbalist, and she taught me a lot when I was a child.
Thank you for that. Okay, so where are you originally from?
Yes, I am a Chi-Town girl. My parents actually, and I was born in a town called Blue Island, Illinois, right in Cook County. St. Francis Hospital, February 5th, 1987, in a blizzard. And I grew up mostly in the South Side Chicago, Wild Hundreds, Argyle Gardens. I lived across the street from the Robert Taylor homes. I left with my family when I was 15 and moved to Indiana. Shortly after, my mother's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to have one of her breasts removed. So we came to care for her. So I went mostly to school in the Chicago school system. My father put me in the first beginning of my life in Catholic school. So I was kind of influenced by the Catholic, religion and the structure. So it taught me a couple things, mostly keep my mouth shut because them nuns will pop you with the quickness. And it just taught me a little bit of balance. So that's where I'm from. But I'm currently in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I came here almost 13 years ago. Before then, I was living in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where I met my children's father. And we migrated from Memphis because there wasn't any jobs up here in Memphis, Tennessee. So we came to Minnesota where it's more plentiful. It's very white here. So I had a baby on my hip, which is my oldest son. He wasn't even a year old. He was about 4 or 5 months. And I discovered I was pregnant again with my second son. And together we conceived 3 sons together. So their names are Heliel, Isaac, and Boaz.
Oh, I like that. Those are nice. Well, that was going to be my next question. Okay, so where you live, but what was it like for you growing up? Were you like an only child? How many siblings did you have?
I am not an only child. I come from a family of 6 children. I have a 47-year-old brother. I am in my late 30s. I have a 34-year-old brother, a 32-year-old brother, a 30-year-old sister, and a 28-year-old brother. So I grew up with a lot of brothers and tons of boy cousins. My father's family, my grandmother had 10 kids. My mother's side, my grandmother had 16 children. 9 survived. She had a lot of multiple births, and they were stillborns. So I grew up with just a big old family, and we always had, everybody came to our house back in Chicago to eat because my dad is a fantastic cook. So he's the one that kept me in the kitchen.
What was it like for you in school? Like, were you involved in sports or activities? Were you like popular? What kind of teenager were you?
Well, I was the weird teenager. I was a weirdo. Middle school, in middle school, whatever. My father was a paramedic and a firefighter. So I kind of grew up with, and he former military, so I grew up with like this structure where, get up, girl, da-da-da-da. And my mother was a medical assistant for cancer patients, people with HIV. And she worked a lot with the elderly. So I kind of was sheltered. My learning I learned a lot from my father. So it made me kind of a nerd. I love science. That was one of my favorite things. History, philosophy. I love languages. When I got to Indiana, I became like a Black alternative rock girl. So you would never think. So, I went through stages. I went to Black alternative rock girl, emo type sister. You were like, why is this Black girl into this? But I just found out I gravitated people who you would call the freaks and the geeks. But I was still cool with some of the jocks, basketball players, football players. We were all cool. And then I went to my, my kind of Afrocentric stage where I cut off the perm in my hair, and went natural. And then I got more embracing, being a Black woman, my Blackness, as well as my Latino-ness, because my father is also part Brazilian. So I grew up in this, and so at home in my family, my dad speaks more than one language. So daddy speaks English, Spanish, Portuguese. He speaks German, Latin, Polish, and Hebrew, as well as he speaks Yiddish and Yoruba, which is our tribal language.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There you go.
Daddy's international.
Very much international. You never think a guy from a hood boy from the projects of Chicago would go into the Air Force and learn so much. My dad strived in teaching us as much as we could. So if you came to my house when we were kids, you may not always hear English. My dad would go in between languages. So one minute he'll speak Thai, next minute he'll speak Polish. And are my friends, and I didn't have very many friends when I was younger because I was weird. My parents kept me sheltered. Some of the girls in my neighborhood didn't like me. At the time, I had very long hair and I talked like this. So they would always call me Oreo. Sorry. So they would always call me Oreo. They would say I wasn't Black enough. And I dealt with a lot of trauma. as a child in the school. You know, I had I remember one day I was in school, and this little girl did not like me. I don't know what it's about me she didn't like, but she did not like me. And she brought a lighter to school, and she was burning my coat while I was wearing it.
Oh my Lord.
Those first encounters with Black people made me afraid of being around Black people for a long time, until I got to my teens.
Goodness.
I was scared of Black people. They scared me. I didn't understand. I knew I was Black, but in their eyes, I was not, quote unquote, Black enough. Growing up in certain areas in that particular time in the 90s, you know, you're a kid, and I didn't understand the concept of single parenthood. I grew up with mommy and daddy, so I didn't understand what it was like. So it didn't make sense to me how that could work. And then eventually I became a single parent. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, those are my first encounters. So I mostly stick with my family. My parents have been married for 40 years this year.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
And it's like 15 grandchildren. I end up having all the boys. Mostly, yeah, my oldest brother has mostly girls. He has like 5 girls. You just deal with those things.
So you were in Chicago your entire childhood?
Yeah, until 15. Until 15 years old. And then we moved to Indiana. Indiana was a culture shock because Indianapolis, Indiana is, well, growing up in Chicago is and will always be segregated. You know, at a certain time, you cannot be in Berwyn or Bridgeport. Get your Blacks up out of there. Old Town, mostly that's predominantly gay, so that's their neighborhood. And then you had Cicero. Cicero was the Italian neighborhood, but then the Latinos took over, so it's they kind of moved them out. Then of course you have Jewtown, which is where the Jews live, and everyone else, the Jamaicans, the Caribbeans, the Africans, everybody at Chinatown, we all had our own neighborhoods, and we just kind of dealt with each other as needed. But what I loved about my father, Elder Yahuda, is that he made sure to expose me to different cultures. That way I can respect things and get them to respect me. So he made me very diverse. So I think it came in handy as I became a woman. Yeah, my late teens, I actually got held back. I dropped out. I had experienced some depression. So I dropped out and I went back after a year. And I got my high school diploma. When I was in high school, you not think a person that talks like this will make bad grades, but I was so messed up. My GPA was like, what, 2.3? When I went back to school, it was 3.7. So I had to take time at my own pace. I did 2 years of college. I studied accounting. That's when I moved to Memphis. And then I did a year in studying nursing. I didn't complete it. There were some issues that came about. But after that, I just kind of pursued things in the medical field. For a while, I was a home health aide for disabled veterans and workers' comp patients. I was a CNA. I was a hospice aide. That's one of my things in my belt. I took care of hospice patients. And my current position now is I am a shelter advocate. It's draining because as a person who experienced homelessness while I was pregnant with my second child, you get treated differently. You have to advocate for yourself practically because people assume that because you're homeless that you're either lazy or on drugs or mental. They don't realize that economic dispersion can occur. You know, when I came up here, I was with some friends that I knew back in Memphis, and then we got into a confrontation. And I was pregnant with my second child, and me and my kid's father, we just left. And I remember the day that happened was I was sleeping, and I was about 2 months pregnant with almost 3 months pregnant with my second son. And I remember I heard a voice say, "Get up and leave now." And I said, "Okay." And whenever I get anything, I hear anything like that in that depth, it's serious. And we got into a confrontation, and then we left and went staying with a woman. And the woman wasn't the best. But it was a place to lay my head. And then I would go to worship as much as I could to try to find a way out of it, because I was not going to go back to Memphis. I was going to make a life up here, and I was going to fight it out. And my father always told me, he said, "You dig your heels in, girl." And I ended up going into getting sick with my second child. I was about 5 centimeters along, and I was just 6 months. So my child was threatening, to be born premature. So I had to go on bed rest for a while. Their father had to work a little bit. We stayed in the shelter. And I remember we had this one shelter advocate there that worked inside the family shelter here in Minnesota. And he was just so annoying. He was arrogant, Caribbean. I don't know if he's I think he was West African and Caribbean. And he just looked at everybody like they were so stupid. And he caught me on a bad day. And he was threatening to kick my children's father out over something that he wasn't wearing the shoes, and then he misplaced them. And okay, it was just a one-time only thing. Yeah, I can do this. I can do it. And I remember his accent. With your disrespect in your unhygienic ways, do you know I can throw you out on the street? And he tells my kid's father that. And I don't know what happened, but I snapped. And I came up to him and said, "Let me tell you something. Your job is to make sure that we're protected and we're given dignity. You ain't got to like us, but you will respect us, and you will respect him." And I said, "No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm tired of it." Okay? People who are homeless, we're not stupid. We're not children. We're not defeebled. We just happen to have a situation. Here in the state of Minnesota, you have to make 3 times the rent just to get accepted for an apartment. The average 1-bedroom apartment in Minnesota is $1,100. 1 bedroom. When you're a family, they split you up. If you can't get your family to watch over your kids, they do have something called safe families, where it's like temporary foster care. They separate the families, the fathers from the mothers. Then you go into the shelter, you're around different kind of people. I've heard stories about people being raped, people being abused, racial tension, drug use, the whole gusto. I got to see that when I was in the shelter. But I did see some wonderful people, some girls that I still keep in touch with, because in the midst of that, being in the shelter, I went to labor in the shelter. I sneezed, hachoo, water broke. So now I have a 1-year-old son and a soon-to-be another child coming out of me. And I had to be rushed to the hospital. And it's amazing how womanhood, despite of color, creed, nationality, how it can snap with certain people. Because people that helped me out were sisters, Latinos, Asians, and white. That moment, color didn't matter. It was just the Most High working through these women to help save me and this baby. So it scarred me, but then on the other hand, it made me stronger and helped me respect and understand that it can always happen to you again, to be humble and to look out for people. So when I left the medical field, shortly after my 3rd child developed epilepsy as well as autism, I needed something that I can do to give back, make money, and be able to take care of my kids. And I ended up getting a job. And I went to, every year I would go to the state capitol and talk to the representatives about more funding for shelters and affordable housing. I do it every year. And this time I met some ladies there that worked at this company, and they said, with my voice and the way my kindness and my passion, that I should work there. And I'm working there for a year, over almost 2 years. And it can be trying sometimes, because you'll have people, especially with the new Americans and people coming over there, don't really speak English. So it takes a lot of patience, but there's some wonderful stories I get where I can get on the phone with a couple, or a single male or a single female, and they tell me, hey, thanks to you, I got into my apartment.
That's
And
beautiful.
I said, baby, it's not because of me, it's because of the Most High. Give praises to the Creator, not the creation. And it's very humbling and loving, and I like what I do. So right now it's inspired me to do something different, another venture which I'm doing. I'm starting my nonprofit, which is called Warm Hearts, Warm Hands Foundation. Me and some other sisters from different cities and states, they
Oh,
push
wait,
me
hold
to.
on. Girl, you're going to get ahead of my questions.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Ma'am,
Let me,
I'll bring
let
it
me,
back. I'll bring it back.
let me,
Bring it back.
let me backtrack a little bit. Okay, so let's go all the way back to, okay, so you're married, right? And you have children. How did you meet your husband?
Like I said, I had my children's father. We were not married, not correctly anyway. So shortly after having my children, me and their father split up. He decided he won't be a daddy no more. He won't be free. And so I became a single mother with 3 autistic children. Brycey, my little Boaz, he had just turned 1. And I stayed by myself for almost 7 years. So I didn't meet my sweet Amma until 2022. So I was basically I didn't want to be bothered. I had been hurt, and and I tell my sisters, I'm telling you this right now, sisters, don't jump in a relationship if you're not fully healed. And brothers, you too. Get healed up from that woman that did you dirty, because otherwise it'll make you very bitter and poisonous and annoying. And I met Amma by fluke. So I do not know how to drive. So I took Ubers to work. And in 2017, I picked up a ride with this brother from Ghana. And he said, hey, sister, how you doing? I'm like, you from West Africa? He said, are you from Nigeria? He said, no, sister, I'm from Ghana. And he said, yeah, but my wife is from Nigeria. And we were talking, and he just was this cool person. And he had the most beautiful name, Noel. And we became very good friends and traded numbers. I felt kind of uneasy, but he said, no, my wife's going to love you. And we became good friends. And then here comes in 2022, 5 years later, he calls me up, hey, sister, how you doing? I'm like, what is it, Noel? He's like, look, I got an uncle for you. I was like, okay, what's wrong with him? Nothing wrong with him. He's got 3 kids. You got 3 kids. Y'all be like an international Brady brunch. I'm like, I am not being with no African man, because they get on they don't know how to act. And I dated African men in between. I never got in a good relationship with them. He said, I promise you, sister, he's a good man. I said, why you pick me? He said, because I've been in this country for 14 years. I've met many African Americans, but no one like you. He said, you showed me that there's a difference between the N-word and a Black American. It's a difference. You changed my perspective. I respect y'all now. I said, okay. So I said, give me his WhatsApp number. He said, because he's not living here in America. I said, okay, you want papers? He said, no, he just wants a good woman. And he had been hurt. And that's why I understood that men can get hurt and abused. And they can become sheltered and isolate themselves from emotions. And so he gave me his WhatsApp number, and I texted him. I said, how you doing? Da, 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 da. What you want? He's like, oh, how you doing? Da, da, da. And what started off as us texting every day and voice message each other, because the internet was so bad over there in Ghana at the time, became once a week. And then once a week became 3 times a week. And then it became every day. And multiple times a day. In between my clients, I would work at home health day. We just started clicking, and he told me things that I need to hear. First thing first, he said, look, the first thing in his mouth, he said, I want a woman, but I'm going to tell you like this. I love the father, over you. So the Father tell me to get rid of you, you got to go. That's what I want to hear. That's the best thing I ever heard from come out of a man's mouth. That he loved the Creator more than he loved me. More than he loved his children, more than he loved himself. Because if a man or woman don't love the Creator, it ain't gonna work. So we went on this back and forth journey of texting each other, and then feelings start to develop. And after 6 months of chatting with me and video chatting, we getting to know each other. He said, I think I found what I wanted. I said, okay. He said, will you marry me? I said, I don't know. He said, where's your father? I said, he's at home. Okay. So we met in May of 2022. He sent his nephew to my father's house and gave him a gift. And his nephew got on his knee, got on down, and he said, Papa, my uncle has seen a flower in your house. May he have this flower. And my dad's looked at me, and he knows what that means. He said he wants to engage. He wants to marry me. I said, yeah. So my dad's like, what are you thinking? I said, I don't know. What do you think? He said, you're 35 years old. You got 3 kids. And he said, she got 3 kids. And he said, I don't care. I will love them as if they're my own. So then it became the process. Got my passport, got the money for the ticket. His brother, made sure everything was good for me. He said his older brother lives here to my house to meet me and then meet my father. And he called back. He said, yeah, this is good. But what made it a seal of deal, his oldest sister who helped raise him after his parents died, she went on a 24-hour fast about me. And she said the Most High told her, it's fine. It'll work. So she's a praying woman. So that's what I loved about their family. They're praying people. They don't play. And so I kept putting off because I was scared because I've never flown on a plane before, ever in my life. So this is weird. So I said, I'm coming off and I'm putting off. And eventually I just said, okay, February, which is when my birthday is. I really don't celebrate birthdays, but they say, hey, you'll love it over there. He said, you're not going anywhere. You're going home. I said, okay. So I got on my first flight from Minneapolis to Washington, D.C., which to make my connect. In the air, turbulence hit, and the plane began to drop. I'm sitting next to this Muslim woman. She's praying. I'm praying to the Most High. She praying to Allah. I said, one of these prayers going to get up there. One of these prayers got to get up here. Because I'm not doing this. And then I calmed down. Made it to the airport in Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. Then I didn't know which area I was. I almost missed my flight by an hour and a half. I found a maneuver to Air Ethiopia. And Air Ethiopia, and these people are so beautiful. Ethiopian women, they're full makeup on, high heels. I said, what the heck? And I had a whole aisle to myself. So I slept in my aisle. And I remember going across, and then I woke up 10 hours later, and I saw the sky. And you look down as the plane descends, and you see these palm trees. And you see a country full of people that look just like you. So I ended up in Lomé, Togo, because I was not going to go to Ghana. I'm not vaccinated. So Ghana at the time wanted you to be vaccinated. I said, I'm not playing that game. I'm good. No offense to those who are vaccinated. I just can't. And I'm here get my visa, whatever, get my entry visa. My sister actually paid for my visa to enter the country because you have to have it before you get up in there. So they're learning my name and they figured out I'm American. So of course, one of the guys with the luggage thought, stupid American girl, I'm gonna take her stuff. No. He said, well, how do I know it's you, Mademoiselle? I said, look, bro, I done rode 18 hours from the U.S. over here. It's hot. I'm hungry. I gotta pee. My man's outside wait for me. You're in my way. So either you're gonna move or I'm gonna move you. So the guy who was with me was a friend of my husband's brother, who was he's a TS guy, officer. He said, she's from Chicago. I know Chicago had weight in another continent. He's like, I said, that's right, back up. So he had waited for me for 2 hours, and then in his hot 80, it had been like 90 some degrees. He wore all black, a black shirt, and he had some black beads on his arm. I said, this man crazy. It's too hot for all this. And I wore an African dress, and I had my makeup done. And he said, baby, I'm here. And I just fell into his arms, and I gave him a little kiss. I wasn't supposed to kiss him in public. They don't do PDA like that over there. But whatever. And that moment, when he held me in his arms, time stopped. I wasn't hot. I wasn't sweaty. I wasn't discombobulated or dehydrated. All I know is that I just melted. And I felt safe. And he treated me like I was an egg. This fragile little thing, which I had to tell myself, stop doing that, man. I'm a woman. I don't need all that. And I didn't know he had threw me a surprise. So I come to my sister-in-law's compound, and all these little children are running around me and saying, where's Zunavi? Where's Zunavi? I'm like, what? He said, and welcome, auntie. Welcome home. And I got to meet my sister-in-laws and my nieces, and one of my nieces was close to my age. She came to me. She said, hey, hi. So one of his sister's neighbors, was a Muslim. And she was trying to figure out, because my hair was wrapped. They were like, is she a Muslim? And I said, and I told her, I said, so she was Muslim. I said, Assalamu alaikum, she's a salam. And she said, Muslim? I said, no. I said, Islam, Israelite. My sister-in-law understood that. She said, all praise to the Most High, hallelujah, daughter of Zion. I'm like, what's going on? He said, because we're Hebrews. He said, the Most High sent me one of my own. And within 4 days, we were married. I got fitted for my wedding dress, and I just went for it. And we got married in Ghana, because my husband has a Ghanaian citizenship. And we honeymooned in Togo, and we went to Cote d'Ivoire. And we spent most of our time just talking. So a lot of people will say, oh, you married this man randomly. No. Love can grow. I'm over the whole, make sure I cover up my tatas, sister. Love can grow, and you can allow it to grow, and you allow the Most High to be the foundation of your relationship. So we've been married almost 2 years, together for 3, and it's been a wonderful experience. He's older than me. He keeps me calm. He gives me peace. We pray together. And I have never been so understood. I'm not going to say happy. Understood by a man in a long time. To have somebody that gets me. So it's a beautiful experience. I love my ama. I've never felt so. It's funny because when his family sees me with them, and they're like, what have you done to him? Because he had been single for 3 years after splitting with his children's mother. So it's kind of like it's a new experience. And it's taught me, to pray more. Because sometimes when I have my moments where I'm like, I don't know what to do, I'm going all crazy, he'll say in this voice, and with this deep underlying French accent, woman, hey, where is your faith? Do you forget the El the creator that we worship, that we serve? Do you not know that he has the power to stop the wind and stop your heart? Remember that, my wife. Remember your faith. I was like, you're right, baby.
It sounds like a fairy tale. You got me a little teared up.
It can be a fairy tale. I know there's going to be good and bad. I know we're going to have issues. But we had made an agreement. We said, you know what? We're not going to go to bed angry. And we're going to learn how to listen to one another. My issue was me being an American-born sister. I don't want no man to tell me what I'm not smart enough. And it's not that. Sometimes the most intelligent people have to listen. How are you going to be intelligent if you don't listen? absorb and understand. So it's taught me to be patient more. And he also taught me that don't let anybody misuse me and abuse me. He taught me to love myself a little bit more. I would critique everything about myself. I always thought I wasn't pretty enough. He said, what's wrong with you? You have a beautiful face. I always think that I was just this and that, this and that. I just thought, he said, woman, what are they teaching you in that country? Creator made black woman the first woman on earth. The life, everything of life of the world comes to your womb. You're not cursed. You are blessed. You only curse because you allow yourself to curse. We have to stop thinking like that. And he taught me to stop thinking that way about myself because I didn't think I was pretty. I never liked my look. I always told I would look too African. And when I get over there, I'm pretty. I'm like, I went to Nigeria. They said, fine girl. Fine girl. I'm like, what? Is she blind? He said, baby, it don't always be about the outside. He said, your spirit is beautiful.
Let me ask you something, because you're speaking so wonderfully about marriage. Okay, so, there's a lot of different discussions going on, especially in the Israelite community concerning marriage. So I would like to get your views on what are your thoughts about marriage in general, especially when it comes to polygamy or polygyny, monogamy, dating. Like, what are your views on that?
Believe it or not, I'm actually pro polygamy. I'm pro. So I am pro, not because my husband convinced me to getting a second wife. It's because I am understanding the aspect of it. But I kind of put in my mind when I married my dad, I'm like, look, I know you come from a culture where you can have more than one wife, so I might as well get used to it. I'd rather have a second wife, a sister wife, than a side chick baby mama mistress. Like I told him before, I said, look, man, I'd rather you get a second wife than go and we go to Walmart and I'm picking out some greens and some chick with a dashiki on with a baby wrapped up with a little bald headed, big nosed baby, look just like you. Then I got to hear this. And then that's coming out of my money in my household. You're not gonna cost me no money. So might as well just do it like that. But when it comes to monogamy, polygamy, polygyny, when it comes to a man having more than one wife, I think the issue that we're really having as women is that, can a man love more than one woman? Yes. But can he provide for each woman in this economy? Kind of doubt it. Kind of doubt it. Because you just can't have more than one woman. You have to provide for her. And you have to make sure if you have more than one woman that she gets along with your first wife. Because they're sisters now. And they have to have similar understandings of life. And when you die, sorry to say, but when you die, they're going to deal with each other. And the point of the matter is that if you over here spreading your seed around with these different women, this woman, having all these different girlfriends, all these little outside babies, you might as well just take two wives. Because you're not being practical. When you take on more than one female spouse, you're connecting your lineage, your history, your land, property, inheritance. That's a big responsibility. And if you cannot do that and do it properly, then just don't do it. And sisters, if your man tell you that he want more than one wife, don't push him into monogamy. He done already told you. He ain't set you up. If it's not for you, it's not for you. These conversations have to be done within marriage before you even start saying I do, before you open your legs. In the beginning of the courtship, and I'm telling you one thing for sure, to my Israelite brothers and sisters, during the courtship, you're not supposed to be having sex. don't want to hear that, but it's actually in the Torah. You're not, when during the course, you're not supposed to be having sex. It will defile you and defile her. Brothers, you don't know what this woman's coming from, and you having sex with her before a covenant. You don't know what kind of spiritual baggage she's bringing in. That's the thing about the courtship and bringing around the family. Study your partner, brother. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's law. Protect yourself. It's like we tell sisters, no, sisters, protect yourself, brother. Protect yourself too. Because just like a woman can get an STD, a man can get an STD. And I don't call it just because STD because of physical. I'm going to say STD, which is spiritually transmitted disease. You don't know who you're laying with. You don't know their spirit. Watch them carefully. Don't be so quick to lay down with them. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how big her booty is. I don't care how firm her tatas are. I don't care if she wears the best perfume. And sometimes the sisters be wearing the zeets and the fringes could be just as wicked. So don't let that be fooled by you. Test the spirit out before you try to test some cootie cat. I love y'all brothers, so this is not to bash no brother, because I'm a wife, I'm a big sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a mother. And I have 5 sons. 3 biological and 2 bonus. And I have to guard my sons like the lioness that I am. Because that's my next generation coming through their loins. Be careful with your bodies, brothers. Sisters, please. Don't let these so-called brothers tell you, oh, well, laying down for a minute, that makes the bond stronger. For who? For what? Why are you not talking to elders? You need elder, righteous brothers and sisters to sit down with you and study y'all behavior, because elders see past things. Ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just a different package. Same gift, same mechanism.
I'm glad you spoke on that, because my next question would be, well, obviously you're a woman of faith. Some people kind of get it, religion and faith, kind of as one. But what do you see yourself? God, even, some people even just say, oh, I'm spiritual. So how do you identify?
As a daughter of the Most High. I don't put my label as to, so if anybody were to identify, they would know I'm Hebraic. I'm an Israelite sister. I try to keep the laws and statutes of the Most High. When I stepped against the laws and statutes of the Most High, I conceived children with a man that did not love me and didn't respect me. And I got some very unique children out of the situation. So it's not about religion. Religion is man-made. It's a man-made concept. Your spirituality and relationship with the Creator, that comes between you and the Father. And everybody is not going to get it. Those of us who are set apart, we have to remain set apart as much as we can. The world's influenced us and telling us everything that we do is wrong or peculiar. But it gives us balance. It's like everybody saying, oh, let him have a cookie. Yeah, you let him have a cookie, and another cookie, and another cookie, and another cookie. Then you got to take somebody to the dentist. So I got diabetes. That's how I feel about the concept of religion. It gives you ramifications, but it's a lot of shortcomings because humanity comes up short. We're not divine as we think we are. That's why you have to stay spiritually grounded. Because the people in a religion can lure you down the wrong path and leave you disappointed or leave you dead, physically and spiritually.
Do you believe that the Israelite or the Hebrew Israelite movement has turned more religious heritage?
I'm not going to say it like this. I'm going to say, because like I said, I didn't grow up in a camp organization. Don't get to my camp brothers and sisters. I love y'all. But I am seeing that they're doing a lot of idolatry. They're also idolatry with their leaders. And you have to remember that that's a person just like you. A shepherd has to go through the same thing as a flock. And actually, the shepherd got it worse, because if he messed up the flock, the creator's not going to be too happy about it. I think that a lot of the Israelites, right now, especially some of the brothers who have came from a broken place, when they find out, the truth about who they are, they become a little bit more zealous, aggressive, disrespectful, because they're trying to build up that self-esteem that's been knocked down from them for so long. And the first one you turned against is the black woman, the Israelite woman. And we have to come to the understanding that we need each other. Israel is not just women, it's men too. For we are the Most High's bride. He's married to our nation. So everybody got to be on one accord. And the movement is becoming so lost. Yes, you're supposed to teach your brothers and sisters about the laws and statutes of the Most High. Absolutely. Yes, you're supposed to make sure to teach classes and keep the laws. But also, are you out there feeding the hungry and the homeless? Are you helping the widows? Are you mentoring the young boys to keep them out of these streets and being intimidated? Brothers, we need you to do more. Do more. Being on the street corners, that's good and fine. But we need you out there with these young children. They are dying. I live in Minnesota, Minneapolis. 16-year-olds got hit by a car. People getting shot downtown. Where are our brothers? We need you, brother, please. I'm begging you. We're begging you. Take your place. We know you strong. Whether you believe it or not, sisters know what y'all went through and what you're still going through. We're not here to destroy you. We're here to be at your side. But we're not your footstools either. We are your allies. We need to start remembering that.
I'm glad I love you. You segue for me. What are your thoughts on the state of the Black community, especially what they call the FBAs, the Foundational Black Americans?
It's almost obsolete. And I learned something from the brothers in the continent when I went over there, and the influence of the Europeans is that they're slowly but surely going away from their culture. Because they're being told that their culture is so wicked and evil, the structure of the family. And I told my brothers in the continent, I said, we've already had that instilled in us. The family breakdown is really bad. It's almost like couples' marriages is almost obsolete. Divorce rate in our community is so high because we don't know how to talk to one another. The household is supposed to be done like this. You have the creator, and it's your husband, the wife, and the children. That's how it is. Not one woman raising a house full of kids by herself. Not a brother, and I know brothers out here who are single fathers raising their kids by themselves. Girl children. It's not balanced anymore. And even in our community, the fundamentals of the Black community is really getting to me, because it's like everything that makes us sane and understood and in order, we get made a mockery of it. Oh, why you want to go to college? Oh, she'll never go out and party. Or if it's a man, you still a virgin? Yeah. Virginity is not even a goal anymore for male or female. Structure of the family. Women should not be working this hard. And I blame the feminism movement. I'm going to be real. The feminist movement has really messed up the Black community. We don't know how to talk to our men don't know how to talk to us. We don't know how to be soft anymore. We don't know how to be calm anymore. We're constantly on ever-ending trauma. And they say, oh, it's just affecting women. No, it's affecting the men too, because these feminist mothers have these sons and they browbeating the boy. Putting him down. And he grows up to be a man who doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. And he turns around and kills somebody. Well, I'm sorry, you say unalive. Unalive, I'm correct. So we need to get back to the old days. We need to get back to the elders teaching us how to handle our households. We need to get back to real conversation with our spouses. And before we open up our legs and pull out, and men, y'all pulling out your... Ask yourself, is this a person that you want to have children with? Is this the person you want to spend the rest of your life with? If she does not identify those things, and vice versa, this person you want to have children, sister, and you want to spend the rest of your life with, sister, if he don't fill those quotas, close your legs, zip your pants, and go home. Because you're now going to breed a generation of confusion. And this generation of confusion, the little girl you're going to have encounter my sons, and then I got to have a problem. Knock it off.
Let me ask you.
I'm sorry, I come kind of raw.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I like that. Would you consider yourself like an activist or an advocate? Are you a pacifist? Are you militant? And if you are any of the above, for what causes?
At one time, I was an activist with an organization, and well, I'm not gonna get off on that, but let's just say, like minds are always not like-minded. I've always been an advocate. I'm always going to stand up when things are out of order, whether you like it or not. And it does put a target on my back. Even as a shelter advocate, I get on the phone with the shelters, and me and the staff go to blows. We can go to blows. How you treat the clients. I had an issue with a client. Where the client was an elder. He was trying to he was getting a number from a shelter staff, and the shelter staff started yelling at him. I'm on the phone, and another organization on the phone with me, which helps us do the put them in the system, was on the phone. And me and this lady said, and she said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "I showed it." And I told the other girl that was working, I said, "How you doing, sweetheart?" She said, "Hi." I said, "Look, you know who I am." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Do me a favor. Tell that man, if he ever yells at the elder again, I'm going to personally come down there and knock his teeth out." That man, not only we're black, and it's a black elder, he fought in the military. He fought for our freedom. He sacrificed himself. And he was drafted in. He had no choice. He deserved respect. And let that be the last time we hear that again. Because it also was recorded. So we can find out who he is. So it's always been in me. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was an activist. She was involved with the civil rights movement, even though she lost her eyesight. And she taught me to stand up. She said, "Baby." She lived with us and she died when I was 12. She said, "Baby." I always asked her, I said, "You don't like me, bro?" She said, No, I don't like you. I love you, but you need to get stronger." And sometimes you have to advocate. I advocate for autism, veterans' rights, police violence, homelessness. And I'm probably gonna do that till the time they put me in the ground. With no shame. I'm not super militant. I can be. Push me there. You'll get a whole nother side of me. But I'm definitely not a passive person. Not by a long shot.
So of those things that you just mentioned, What would you say you're most passionate about, or is there something else that you have a passion for?
I've always and still will always have a passion for the autistic community as well as the homeless community. I'm like I said, I'm a puzzle mom, mother of three. Three of my sons are on the spectrum, and I found out that I'm also am on the spectrum myself.
What does it mean when you say you're on the spectrum?
Autism spectrum disorder. So it comes in so many, as I said, it's a spectrum. You could not, some people are just undetectable. But I did do some studying, and then they found out, yeah, you're one too. So it explains my life in school and encountering people and being so isolated, because that's kind of part of it. It doesn't mean you lack intelligence. You see the world very differently. It makes you very blunt too. We have no, my kids have no filters. Trust me. Especially my oldest son. Recently, I took him on the bus, and there was a person part of the that community outside, and they were homeless, and they were looking for a cigarette butt, and my son was looking at it, and the person had some booty shorts on, and my oldest son has no filter, and I'm like, "What's wrong, baby?" He said, "Mama, that ain't right." I said, "Shh, shh." And the homeless community, you know, I met so many intelligent people on the streets. I mean, it's like, wow, you did this, you did that, and you're out here watching somebody in the freezing cold of Minnesota, where we share a border with Canada, and you watch them sleep in tents and they huddle together trying to stay warm, or telling somebody that there's no more beds tonight and you have to sleep outside. I saw so many teenagers, and some of them were autistic. Their families turned their backs on them. And you can't imagine putting an autistic person into a shelter with individuals that have mental illness and other problems and expect them to survive.
Let me ask you, do you think the government has, it's okay, but I'm glad you went there, because I want to ask you, do you feel that our government has failed people with mental health issues?
I see it every day. I hear it every day.
What would you like to see happen in your particular city, if you could do anything about it?
Absolutely. In 2016-17, the state of Minnesota made, and the government made budget cuts on psych medication. I was working in a nursing home. My clients were out of their minds. The same sweet little lady that I love up every day and give her a bath and we talk, she's screaming and hollering in her room. Veterans have no place to go. Disabled veterans are not getting all the things they need. People with special needs and sensory issues are not getting the proper care they need. And the money's being mismanaged. We're paying millions of dollars in taxes. And where's our money going? It ain't going there. California, San Francisco, people are sleeping out in the streets, pooping and urinating all on the streets of San Francisco downtown. Compton, Oakland, Detroit. We are the richest country in the world, but our citizens suffer the most. And I'm not trying to say against too much, but I'm just saying, look, right now, the governor of the state of Minnesota is the running mate to be vice president. Governor Walsh, what you gonna do? It's your state. It should be no reason why when the Super Bowl came to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you put all homeless people into shelters, into hotels, and then when everybody left, they back on the streets, sleeping on the rails, the trains, sleeping inside of libraries, encampments being knocked down with hundreds of people, and you don't know where to place them. And we got shelters closing each day because they don't have any money. I would like to see my Israelite brothers and sisters come together and let petty squabbles over with and really do something. I would love to see the camps get together and start a food show in shelters. We can do it, because ain't nobody else gonna do it. If we can just work together. Because it seems to us, the more I get up there and go to the state capitol and talk to these senators, they'll throw us a bone. They throw us a couple bones now and then, it's cool, and then turn around and knock another shelter down or make another budget cut. That's why I sat down and wanted to start my nonprofit called Warm Hands, Warm Hearts, to try to at least get enough coats and hats on the homeless. Just try. It's not much, but if I can just help like 20 people, and that 20 people help another 20 and help another 20, it can start a ripple effect. It's the greed in humanity now. The greed, the selfishness, the egotistical mindset is what's causing us so many problems. The crab in the barrel effect is killing us.
Let me ask you then, considering the state of the world, we spoke about the Black community, the mental health crisis, a homeless crisis, and being a mother of 3 young Black boys. What are your concerns and fears, hopes for them?
I'm concerned, but I'm not going to say I'm afraid too much, because if I give fear to the enemy, I'll never be free, and they'll never be free. And it's going to let the Creator know that I don't trust in Him. So all I gotta say is that be prayerful, my people. Be prayerful.
Okay. Let me ask you, because you have all boys, so
5 boys, and I have 3 biological, 2 stepsons, and a stepdaughter.
Okay, so you do have a daughter.
I got a lot of fellas. I'm full of boys.
So, okay, tell me something you would tell your daughter, or even if you could go back and talk to your younger self. What's something, knowing everything you know now, what's something you would say to them?
Listen to your elders. Your peers don't always know everything. Listen to your elders. When they see things in a person that you're around, heed their warning. That's what I would tell my younger self. I would tell them, listen to if I can go back to 21-year-old Courtney, I would tell her, listen to your elders and love yourself. I didn't love myself when I was in my 20s, when I was in my teens, because I allowed the world around me to tell me that I wasn't good enough. It didn't take until I met someone that saw me to love myself more. And sometimes it shouldn't take an outside person to make you love yourself. You're supposed to always love yourself because the Most High lives within you. You're His creation, and He don't make no mess. Now He has a sense of humor because, look at a platypus. That's hilarious. He definitely didn't believe in waste because he put some things together and made an animal. So if a mind like that could put some leftover things together and make an animal, what do you think He thinks about you? Everyone's made so beautifully. His children are made so unique. Different colors, different hair textures, different sizes. And yet we're all His people. A particular people. So, love yourself. Listen to your elders. And when the Most High give you a warning, you better listen quick, fast, and hurry. Otherwise, it's going to be your life.
Is there anything you would change about your life?
I would have liked to have been a little bit more bold. Bolder than I should have been when I was young, in my younger days than I am in my older days. A little bit more unapologetic, because I allowed people to come into my space and dictate me and make me feel bad and puppet master my life and put me on eggshells because I wanted them to see me as a loyal, hardworking, righteous sister when I already was. That's one thing I would change. Otherwise, I love being a mother. I love my boys. I love my new bonus daughter. I love my community. I love my people. Of all things, I love the Creator. And I fear Him immensely. I'm scared of the Most High. I love my husband. And I love my new family in Africa. And I think the things that I went through, which led me to this new life, I had to go through it so I can value it much more.
That's awesome. So tell me, do you think there's hope for unity between the so-called Black woman and Black man of America?
Of course. Of course. It's going to change. It might be a different generation, but if we turn back to the Creator and learn how to love ourselves first, then the love between the Black man and Black woman will get better. Right now, we're just, how could I say this? It was this white guy sang this song to this movie. It's called Broken People. We are broken people. We're broken up from the four corners of the earth. Our minds are broken up. Our families are broken up. But it's gonna change. I see it. I know it's gonna happen. I have faith in the Creator. He's gonna make it happen. He's gonna bring us back together. And this time, we're not gonna break up again.
When I asked that question, I would like to also ask you this because, when it comes to unity, there's a lot of talk, especially from the sisters, saying that they feel unsafe with the Black men. Do you feel there's a lot of domestic violence in the Black community?
Absolutely. I experienced it. I was beaten in relationships with men. I was beaten by my own Black man. And for a while, I was scared of Black men. I was scared. I didn't want to date no white man, but I was scared of brothers. I was scared to allow myself to be loved or get my guard down with Black men, because it seemed to me that the broken brothers I was encountering, they used my background and what I've been through as a way to throw darts at me. I was attacked. I was in a relationship with the person I had children with, and he began to beat me. He didn't succeed very well because I fought him back. So my sister, don't fight back. And then another thing is that we need to make a safe space, and brothers, make a safe space for our sisters that if they're in a domestic situation, where they can turn to. Because we become, and even brothers who are getting beaten by women, because it does happen. Where they gonna go?
True.
We need to make safe spaces for our brothers to heal. And sisters, not every brother's the same. I know it's hard because we're just this big old cluster of people in this land of our enemy with all these different nations around us. But there are some decent brothers out there.
I agree.
And if you didn't get a decent brother, you got a son, raise him to be a decent man. Break the cycle.
And you know, some would say it's impossible for a woman to raise a man to be a man.
She can give him soulmate. I'm gonna admit, yeah. I mean, I can't teach my boys how to be men. I can teach them how to be human. Now, the man part is somebody else. But if we can teach our men, our young boys to be human, to realize that they are human beings, it'd be a lot better. And stop taking them thinking, they pumping their heads up that they have to have this guard about them. Don't cry, you act like a little girl. No, they have emotions. They feel things. They're human.
Yeah, I would agree. We really do need to stop telling our men and our boys that it's effeminate for them to express emotions. I mean, there can be a time that it's excessive, but every human has to, gets hurt, gets sad, even to. We all have tear ducts. They're not just for women.
And men grieve. Men go through a grieving process different than us. We grieve when we get over it. Man, when you break a man down, his emotions, ego, that's it. He gonna raise holy hell.
Do you think, because a lot of things that happen within the Black community, it is often, slavery, the government, the system. Do you believe it's that we failed ourselves, or the system or the government has failed us?
You can't really blame everything on the government, because we were designed to be, we're goods of the United States government. Let's be honest. We're goods. We're not people. But in that, we failed ourselves. Because we knew when we left out that situation, that system, we knew we had to be better. We allowed the trickery to keep going. We allowed it. Now we're glorifying it. That's why we got people like Sexy Red, Carly B, Megan Thee Stallion. We got brothers being killed like King Von, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD, Nipsey Hussle. We harbored and we contained and we glorified certain behaviors, and we say it's culture and it's not. It's buffoonery. It's killing us. And we have to stand up when things are wrong. And standing up for righteousness is not always the popular opinion.
True. Let me ask you this then, because you're married to a man on the continent of Africa. Do you think we would have better hope for our people if we just had a mass migration back to Africa?
No. I'm gonna keep it 100. And I'm gonna use the country of Liberia as an example. When we started coming back to Liberia, we thought we were better than people that was already there. And we started mistreating them. So it's not about you just leaving where you are to go somewhere else if you have the same mentality. Because all you're going to do is make it worse for people that's already there. It'll make 10 times worse. when you move around, you got the whole thing about moving. When the time I left and went over there, I had to change my way of thinking and realize it ain't gonna be like it is in the US. There's gonna be some blackouts. I may not be able to go to McDonald's. Ain't no 24-hour pharmacies. Ain't gonna be none of that. But then I realized something. Do I really need those things? Going through a blackout and things like that put me in mind of, so if I complain so much, I'm just like my ancestors when they were leaving out of Egypt in the wilderness, because all we did was complain. We complained the whole time. And we started making an idol to suffice something that we thought we were missing. Our mentality didn't change when we left. It took us 40 years of wilderness to change the mentality as much as we could before we can go into the promised land. So if you want to go over there to the continent or any of the Latin countries, you got to change your mindset. It's not going to be the same experience. I had to learn how to be without air conditioning. I slept on a mat at my sister-in-law's house in the heat, and she has no air conditioning and she has no lights in her house. She got a cell phone, but she ain't got no like regular lights and stuff like that we have. So I learned about the simplicity and appreciation. And that, was they caring about they got a blackout? They wasn't thinking about that. They still put their phones on. They still was at the club dancing. The restaurants didn't stop, closed down. I went to a restaurant out there, a pizza place. They put their phones on. They were still cooking and frying chicken and making pizza. They didn't complain. It made me respect. I was like, you know what? Let me stop thinking that I'm this American-born black woman and I'm something better. No, I changed my mentality. It taught me to appreciate things. And then when I came back to the States and ate the food in America, it made me sick. I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to go back over there because this ain't hitting on nothing.
Is that something you plan on doing? Making that your home over there?
Yes. I plan on moving to Togo with my children and living my life there. I realized I don't need all this. I don't need all this. I can live a nice life with my beautiful children and my husband, praising the Most High, eating fresh fruits and vegetables grown in the garden, and being around my family. The most beautiful experience I ever had was sitting down with my sister-in-laws and we eating together at the same bowl. They don't speak English, and I speak very little Ewe in French. But the love that we felt was universal. My sister-in-law was making something for me, and she said, I know we don't have much compared to where you're from, but what little we have, we give it to you.
That's
That
beautiful.
And I said, you have more than what I'll ever have. Because you have peace of mind, and you have security, and you have family.
You know, I'm glad you just said that, because that sounds like sisterhood, and
It's real sisterhood over there.
Yeah, it seems like maybe we lack that here. Do you think there's a hope for us here for that, to have that sisterhood?
Absolutely, but we, like I said, I was part of a situation, and I noticed there was somebody in the female sector that was going back telling our business. We need to make a safe space for our sisters. Black women particularly, we are very catty. We are catty, we are mean, we are just I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I saw a sister on the bus with her man and he was he was being quiet. Shit just kept going. I was like, can you please shut up? Because I'm like, dang, brother, you ain't got no sisters? I'll be on honorary sister. Shut up. He don't want to hear all that. You ain't that bad because you're both riding on the bus. So you're both broke. Knock it off. But the sisterhoods, we have to understand that it's not a competition. We're all different, and what we learn different from one another is what's bonding us to build one another. You and I, okay? We're two sisters from two different complexions. But I love you. I see the beauty in you. You see the beauty in me.
Yes, ma'am.
Not a competition. We're all... When the Creator made the Black woman, he really had some fun with us. He gave us so many attributes that is not found in any other race of women. There's so much that other women imitate us, that are willing to die for surgery to look like us. And we don't like it. We are the biggest, most imitated people on the face of this planet. So it must mean we're beautiful. We're amazing. Sisters, love your sisters. I make a promise to myself. Every day when I'm out there in the streets and I see a Black woman, and I say, hey, sister. And the first thing I said, I just want to tell you, you look beautiful. You have a beautiful face, sister. Your toes are so cute. And that calms them down. I said, see, my biggest thing I love to do is compliment dark-skinned Black women. The most emotionally stepped on women in our whole entire group. I saw a woman who was from the Sudan, and her color was blue-black. The deepest onyx I've ever seen before in my life. And I came to her and I said, sister, you are so beautiful. She said, me? I said, yeah. She said, but I said, your color makes you beautiful. Look at you. Look at you. You don't need no makeup or nothing. You are naturally beautiful. Be proud. My dark-skinned Black Americans, I said, hey, what's up, chocolate sister? Look at you. Can anybody tell you nothing?
Yes.
We have to start complimenting our sisters.
I agree.
I like your spirit. It doesn't make you gay, so let's get down understood. We don't make you gay, sister, if you compliment sister on her looks. It's just breaking that curse. It's a little bit, just a little bit. Our self-esteem is so low, and we're settling for just the most mediocre thing they throw at us.
Yeah.
It's like when during slavery they gave us chitlins. We're getting emotional chitlins.
Yes.
We should be eating prime rib. Sisters, I love y'all. I may not know you physically. You may not know me. You might encounter me one day. And I hope and pray to the Most High I'm not in a bad mood. But I love my people. Israel, I love y'all. We can do better. We deserve better, and we are better.
Yes.
Accept it. It's a hard task, but accept it, because it's going to turn out for the best.
Indeed. What is that one thing, or some things that you feel people should know about you? Maybe someone has a misconception about you, or, just don't know you. They say sometimes Black women, we have that RBF face. So they think we're mean, on side. I've been accused of that. So when they, what is something you would want people to know about you so they don't have the wrong idea?
Don't think my loyalty allows you to mistreat me. Don't think that I'm going to stand with you all the time if you're in the wrong. And if you don't want to hear the truth from me, don't ask me. Because it's going to come out. I do have been told that I have a mean face. I literally had a brother tell me, "Smile, sister. Why you ain't smiling?" I said, "Cause I'm in excruciating pain right now, brother, and my back hurts, and I'm trying to keep from crying." But no, I'm a very loyal person, but I will not let loyalty blind me from the truth. When something is done unrighteously, I will love you up, but if you come to me the wrong way, I am a viper in my mouth. But I mostly just strive to be loving to my people, because I know we go through a lot. So I love y'all.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are on question 21. We made it through the list. Let me ask you this final question. What thoughts or anything that you would want to leave with the people? I know you were speaking of something you were starting with another sister for the coats and things. Just any thoughts of wisdom, anything. What's your last thoughts on? You got the floor.
My last thought would be, don't think we help one person that it doesn't impact the world. Every life, every child has the ability to be a villain or to be a hero. And you have the ability to sway that person. Sway them correctly. That's all.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's beautiful in itself. So if anyone wants to donate or help out with what you're trying to raise get these coats and warm things for the people, how would they go about doing that?
Oh, I have a flyer that I can send you. It's a mixed multitude of sisters. So one of the sisters that I'm working with, her name was Crystal Martinez, and her organization is called Two Loves and a Dove. And she works a lot with stable housing. She's a foster mother, and she also is a concealed weapons trainer, a female, which is rare. And I have my new nonprofit that I was assisted with a lovely sister named Sister Tangia, who also is if you're on TikTok, her name is the Plant Lady, and she's a gardener, a farmer, a migrant worker, and of course our beloved sister, Sister Rafala Yasha, Truth Over Tradition. They help push me and say, "Come on, sister, you know all this stuff. You know how to help people. You got all these resources, all these people that you know. Do something about it." And I said, "Well," and they sat down and I said, Warm Hearts, Warm Hands Foundation. And Sister Tangia helped me come up with the logo and everything like that. And my dream is to help with homeless as well as autistic spectrum disorder individuals, help them find stable housing and get the resources they need, so they don't have to keep begging nobody. So we have an Amazon link. I'm going to send it to you if you can post that up. We also have a cash app from our sister Crystal. Trust me, brothers and sisters, what we're doing, we're not playing games. We just want to clothe as many people as we can. And we're also trying to give out some hot chocolate and coffee and donuts. And I'm working with another sister who's going to probably make some meals so we can hand out our keys and try to help maybe 100 people. I'm in St. Paul, and this is going to be our first go around, but we plan on doing more. So, for us, if you can help us support, I know times is hard and things is rough, but if you can buy a pack of gloves or a scarf, or even just give us a prayers and encouragement, or pass the flyer around and get the information around to other people, that's even better. And your prayers. And those who want to donate and things like that and other information, and let you know that Sister Crystal does have it's taxable, it's tax exemption, so she can send you a letter, you know, that you can mark it off your taxes, and that's a charity, and you ain't got to pay for that. All right, and thank you, brothers and sisters, for allowing me to be transparent. I hope that those who ever see, you know, this as a conversation, know that get know about more about me, homelessness agenda, and let's love on each other, okay?
Listen to me now, gonna say it loud. Don't get it twisted what we're talking about. Listen to me now, gonna say it loud. Don't get it twisted what we're talking about. Listen to me now, gonna say it loud. Don't get it twisted what we're talking about. Listen to me now, gonna say it loud. Don't get it twisted what we're talking about. Listen to me now.